Hi, this is Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, the President, Founder, and Chief Listening Officer here at our network at USA Global TV and Radio. Thank you so much for your loyalty. Thank you so much to all of our guests, to our team members, to our sponsors, and to all of our elevated listeners. Here at USA Global TV and Radio, we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. We celebrate all of our team members, all of our guests, and all of our sponsors from around the world who come and lead their lives with their hearts to help other people walk into their greatness. If you'd like to be a guest on any of our shows, please go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com, and book your session. Please contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com and subscribe to our channel. Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is Food and Our Emotions. Our topic is nutrition and supplements, an overview for your health. And in case you missed it yesterday on the Mallorca Connection, Roland FRIEDL gave a fabulous presentation about this topic as well. And I felt it was vitally important that we look into it a little bit further. Joining me is the star of our show, Mr. Red.olaughlin. Welcome. Hello.
Good morning, y'all.
Nice to see you. How are you today?
Excellent as always. Starting to trend upward a little bit, so things are getting better. I got my income tax to my accountant yesterday, so that's always a good position to be in. Beyond that, things are going very, very well.
You're ahead of the game. That's excellent. Congratulations. We are going to welcome Roland FRIEDL. For people who don't know him, he is also one of our team members here on USA Global TV and Radio, and he does a number of things. We'll let him tell us about it. Let's welcome him to the show. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Hello, Red. Howdy.
Howdy. Nice to see you. So you two gentlemen actually are working together on another show. Tell us about that, Roland.
Yeah, I'm very happy that Red joined our men's show at USA Global TV Radio. It's called Wild at Heart, Real, Authentic, Uncut. It's a show for men, by men, about men. So it's a men's show. Doesn't mean that women are not allowed to look at it. Really have a look at it and listen secretly what men are talking about. You can learn a lot from us. It's every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern Time or 9 p.m. Central European Time.
And I enjoy the show. I'm producing it backstage, and I love what I'm hearing and the interaction that you're from different generations with different experiences and sharing that to help one another and everyone else who's watching or listening. So thank you for doing that.
And different cultures from around the world, too.
Yes, good point. Absolutely. So as you know, our show today is Food and Our Emotions. We're going to be talking about nutrition and supplements. I'd like to have Red first talk about what is your experience in these areas, because you certainly have experience. Then we'll go over to Roland and we'll get started.
Well, nutrition is something that I think everybody believes in, and we take it, but we don't necessarily see results a lot of times. The first time that it really hit me right between the eyes, I mean, it was just plain as day how effective nutrition is in our life, and especially in our health, was when my wife was going through chemotherapy. I could work a lot to find out some little tweaks and turns and twists to fix some of the side effects she was having from chemo. And I read this book called The Wahls Protocol. Dr. Terry Wahls, Wahls, developed this book, and she says of her cornerstone to successfully overcome multiple sclerosis, which are autoimmune disease in general. You know, you look at your toxins, your exercise, your nutrition, and your stress. And so on the first day of radiation, I gave my wife her protocol as to how to begin her radiation. The radiologist told her fatigue would get worse. Now, how bad was her fatigue? That was the only aspect of her chemo I could not really address effectively. She was taking 2 or 3 2-hour naps a day, no matter what. Just could not shake it. So I started her on day 1, and the radiologist said she would probably maintain or get worse. Well, 48 hours later, she didn't have fatigue. In fact, a week later, she went and volunteered at the church. The last day of radiation, we went to radiation, left Houston, drove 1,000 miles over 2 days to Florida, to Jacksonville, to pick up my mom and dad's estate stuff. I drove a U-Haul. She followed me 500 miles by herself each day, 72 hours after her last radiation treatment. For the next year or so, she didn't have to take any naps because we were maintaining this dietary regimen where the whole purpose of Dr. Terry Wall's nutrition program was that we fill ourselves up with the minimum required 31 nutrients the body needs on a daily basis. It took her from years in a wheelchair with multiple sclerosis in 1 month to get out and walk using a walker. No, 3 months using a walker. A month later, she was able to walk using a cane. By the end of the year, she could bicycle 18 miles. Somebody who'd been in a wheelchair with MS for a long time. That was my opening to how effective nutrition is in our lives. Take something simple. A vitamin B12 deficiency mimics Alzheimer's. B3, B1 and B3, you are deficient in those, you end up with you don't end up, not symptoms, you actually end up with depression and anxiety. So we need our nutrition, and there's many, many ways to get it. And Roland's going to help us tell us what ways work for him and what does he recommend.
Thank you, Red. Perfect. Let's have Roland on Spotlight and tell us about your background in nutrition. I know that you've trained a number of physicians and you've been on a certain protocol for a number of years.
Yes, thank you. Yes. To be honest, nutrition was always a very important part in my life. When I was young, I was very into sports, like martial arts and other stuff. And I found out through a very good coach that said, okay, nutrition is very important. At the time, 40 years ago, almost 50 years ago, nutrition was not a very important thing. But he came up with a study actually from the US and said, okay, to recover after training, especially when you're insured, nutrition has a huge impact. So I was looking into nutrition because when you train, you practice, you always want to become better than the others in the skills in the sport, also in the mindset to be fit and ready for the fight or whatever you're doing. And then I said, what can I do additionally? And I found out that nutrition is a very, very important part. So that started my journey. And the funny thing is, actually, my girlfriend always said, you always talk about nutrition, you always talking about cooking, stuff like that. I said, yes, it's a very important part of my life. Besides working out to stay healthy and fit, besides getting enough time to relax and recover, get a good sleep and so on, nutrition is very, very important. But because, as I said yesterday, it's not only that I get rid of my hunger or some cravings I have, it's whatever ingredients I take in, the micros that help my body to function well, become part of my cells and the microconscious, and the macros give me like the carbs, the fats and the proteins give me the power for the engine, for the food. That's what I need. So it's very, very important for me, nutrition. Absolutely, it's a daily stuff. I'm very, very into nutrition. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Roland. I really appreciate what you shared today. And also yesterday, you mentioned something on the Mallorca connection that I know that I have fallen into patterns like this many times where I don't eat healthy and I decide I'm going to kill myself with exercise. So I'll exercise for 3 hours in a row and be looking at my watch to see how many calories I burned. And I didn't burn anywhere near the amount of calories that I consumed.
Yeah, absolutely. But as I said, most people, they work out like crazy, whatever kind of work they're doing, but they care much about nutrition. And I don't count calories at all. I eat a lot when I'm hungry. I eat really a lot, but I eat the right stuff, and I'm not gaining any weight. So what I found out is, especially for those people who want to lose weight, 80% is nutrition. It's not about calorie counting. It's not at all. It's about eating the right stuff at the right moment. That's all about it. You can eat much more. The question is, what are you eating? It's not about how much are you eating.
Red, what do you have to say about that? I think you might have a different perspective. I don't know about that salad plate.
Well, I think there's many. What is your goal in life? If the goal in life is to lose weight, that's a different animal entirely than having a healthy body. You can have a healthy body and be 10, 20 pounds underweight. You can be 10 or 20 pounds overweight. But how do you measure healthy body? And a book I'm reading right now, it's called Fast Like a Girl by Dr. Wendy Peltz, I think. And I saw her on YouTube the other day, and I said, "Whoa, my goodness, this woman has a lot of good information." And she started out with some clients that were like 400 pounds, and the issue was it's not what they were eating. She told them to keep eating everything they wanted, but only eat it within a certain period of time. In other words, interval fasting, IF. And so they started losing weight. And so she started incrementally changing their diet, but it took a long time to get them incrementally from one point to another. But she was working on their health that coincidentally went on to weight. And as you look at the things that we do, yes, calories are important, nutrition is important, but also the time of the day is important, exercise is important, stress management is important. There's a lot of things important in our lives that we can eat well, and if we're stressed out, it's we change the dynamic inside our bodies. Hormone levels are not quite the same, so we need a total package. And to do a total package within each one is what we need. In other words, if you're going out exercising and all you're doing is running, well, what about the strength training? What about balance? What about stretching? What about the other non-weight bearing exercises? There are a lot of things we can do to max out that particular kind of thing. If I'm doing stress management, what kinds of things am I doing? Am I just doing meditation? Am I doing emotional freedom techniques? Am I doing breathing exercises? There are a lot of things there. And I think that Roland's hit it on the head with nutrition. And I've told you this before. My two primary ones are caloric restriction and balanced nutrition. Both of those two fit in very, very nicely to a lifestyle. Nutritionists tell us we need 15 calories per pound to maintain our weight. Well, they find out that when they give animals 30% less calories per day, 10 calories per pound, as it applied to a human, animals live 30-40% longer with no disease. It's amazing. I mean, we're talking about microscopic, not microscopic, but worms and the smaller things in the test tubes, to animals and dogs and rats and cats and everything else. When they restrict their diet and they let the other group of people have whatever they want of their normal diet, these animals look younger, they act younger. And so that for me is a key to longevity. I want not only to live longer, I don't want somebody changing my diaper for 10 years at the end of my life. I want to be able to be fully functional in that period of time. So I think it's important that we get the nutrition, get as much as we can, a full bank of it, let our bodies absorb it, but we also need to do other things too. But since this show is talking about nutrition and supplements, I'm going to go back to that particular one and say, if you can get your nutrition from food, that's the best place to get it. If you need to supplement, then those are things you need to do. I take two supplements. One is a vitamin K2 because I want a particular monoquinone in that vitamin K2, the number 4, monoquinone 4, for a heart issue that I have. And I want vitamin E. There's 8 different kinds of vitamin E. And if you're not getting them all in one product, and when you buy supplements, a lot of times what you're getting is one vitamin E that's a synthetic one that's not very good at all. So there are things we need to look at within the supplement range, and that's my first thought on it.
Thank you, Red.
I can relate to this. Red, and I want to add some stuff. Calorie restriction is very, very important. Especially when we reduce calories between 20 and 30% every day, it's a huge benefit. And it's not much when you look on an average diet of an average American. It's more than 3,600 calories they're taking in, and it should be about 2,500. So when we reduce the 3,600 by 20%, we are still very good. So calorie restriction is very, very important. What I want to keep in mind is something when somebody is losing weight. Why are we gaining weight, or why we have a lot of fat? I mean, there's a reason why we do it. It's not only because it's a lot. We have a lot of calories. What research also shows is that the fat has a function, and what it means it stores the toxic stuffs we get into our body through the environment or through food or whatever. So the more toxic stuff we have in, the more fat the body has to store to protect our ancestors. So when somebody is on a calorie restriction and does a lot of sport, losing calorie and not eating the right thing to help the body, especially the liver, to detox, you get even worse. Maybe you look slimmer, but you're not more healthy because your body is full. You can see it in the blood, and when you do blood tests and cell tests, you can see that there is a very high oxidation, a very high amount of free radicals in your system. So it's very, very important when you go on a calorie restriction to eat the right things, as I said before, because otherwise you really get in problem. You have to get rid out of this toxin, because when you're losing fat, your body flushes, and the enzymes flushes your toxic stuff into your blood systems, and then you get in trouble. So to avoid this, you need a lot antioxidants, and the best way is from nutrition, from fresh nutrition, no doubt. But we have to be realistic. Most people don't do it for different reasons. It's too expensive for them to get good stuff. They don't have the time, or they don't like the taste, or whatever it is. But it's very, very important to get the right stuff. It's all about getting rid of toxins. I guess that's the thing in this epoch we live. We have so much toxic stuff from the environment, from chemicals, when we clean our house, when we clean ourselves, in the food, all these herbicides and pesticides, and this is all stored in the fat in the body.
Roland, you're absolutely correct on so many points there. The fat storage, if we don't allow our livers to process those toxins out of our bodies and get rid of them, and why do we not allow it? Because we're eating all the time, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, meal snacks a day. We're never allowing the liver the time it needs to get rid of and process those things out. So as it's processing things out, and it's got new food coming in with new toxins or whatever, then it's got to do something. So it stores it in fat, just like you said. The free radical damage that we have, I get a C-reactive protein test usually once a year, and I try to keep it as close to zero as possible. It's a blood test that measures how much inflammation is in the body. Disease starts at the cellular level with chronic low-level inflammation. So a C-reactive protein test is a blood test, very inexpensive, that will allow you to say, overall in your body, it's this level. Now, it won't tell you where you have inflammation if you have a problem, but it's a good place to start with your doctor and saying, okay, here's my family history, here's where things hurt, whatever, but it's a good place. But no, you hit on some very, very good points there.
Roland,
Dr. Jacalyn?
Yes, I was going to just add to that. So anyone who knows me knows I have chronic inflammation because of ulcerative colitis in my colon. And I mentioned this to you before, Red, but I did everything I was supposed to do for a long time. I followed all the rules and ate all the right things and did the intermittent fasting. And I did that test and I still had inflammation. So what is the disclaimer or caveat that even though we might do all the right things, there could still be inflammation?
Well, I think Roland hit it on the head. In order to counter a free radical, you need antioxidants. Not every antioxidant is created the same. The molecular structure of each antioxidant is kind of paired up in a way that when it donates an electron to a free radical to stabilize it, to neutralize it, so that your inflammation levels go down, then you need a variety. In other words, not just blueberries every single day. You need a variety of antioxidants. Some antioxidants are worth more than one. Vitamin C can donate 6 times. They can donate 6 different atoms, molecules, to stabilize. In other words, one vitamin C molecule can neutralize 6 different free radicals. However, there's one particular molecule called PQQ, pyrroloquinoquinone, that passes through the blood-brain barrier, and it can be reactivated 25,000 times. One single molecule with glutathione in your body reactivates it continually. So you have now an antioxidant in your brain that's like an army of 25,000. So it's not just the looking at what you're eating. You have to be able to take a variety of antioxidants. If you were looking at all of the fruits and vegetables that you were eating, Dr. Jacalyn, and kind of change those out on a regular basis. In other words, when I talk about the Walls protocol, the only thing I change is I say, do not have the same protein 2 days in a row. I would say the same thing with your antioxidants. Change out your greens, change out your colored fruits and vegetables, change out those things that give your body some different things that they can look at. So if you're having this particular kind of leafy green vegetable today. Maybe tomorrow you want to change it out for another kind of leafy green vegetable. Parsley and green bell peppers are loaded with PQQ, not something that most of us eat, but those two particular vegetables happen to have that particular molecule in them. So I think that just looking at, okay, you're looking at the total, I have inflammation. Well, I have a disease that causes inflammation. If you weren't doing those things, where would your inflammation be? And you can change a few things, go down, get another blood test. Oh, I'm on the right track. Or, well, that didn't work very well. So I think there's a lot of things, but we have to be a little bit cognizant of the consistency in what we're doing and what are we doing to improve.
Thank you, Red. That makes a lot of sense. And I'm wondering, Roland, I know you've got a presentation you're going to share with us. I do have one more question about supplements. So we hear about supplementation for people who are lifting weights, weight training, strength training. And as we get older, we don't have the ability for our muscles, it's seemingly for our muscles to get as jacked up as we might like them to do. So is there a different or a certain supplementation process that we can use to keep our muscles strong as we get older?
Well, first of all, when we get older, we need more protein for sure, but good high quality protein besides the workout. It's very, very important. I take proteins too, protein shakes, but I don't take any V product. You know, this V is I don't know how to call it in English, but in Austria, when we get milk from the farms and we produce different yogurt and cheese, V is the product that is normally left over in Austria, ended up in the rivers. They didn't know what to do with this stuff, and as a clever businessman found out, well, we can sell it as a protein powder to the people working out in gyms, and what we see on a V when on different studies is that people get bad skin and they had a high inflammation. So when you use it on a daily basis, your inflammation rate really goes up, absolutely goes up. So I don't take any V product. I take protein powder, yes, but from plants. I'm a meat eater, but I eat protein from plants, and it's much better on a shake. There's no inflammation. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, I take shakes every day. Sometimes as a pre-workout, depending, because when I'm hungry, I don't have fun on the gym on the workout. But when I eat something, it's too much in my stomach. So I have a shake sometimes as a pre-workout, or I do a shake as a post-workout to refill my protein and to help the muscle damage I did when I strengthen my muscle to repair it. Yeah, I use shakes, but I use it very naturally, and I use it from plants.
Roland, would you spell that word for me? I didn't quite understand it. The one that you said.
It's WHE epsilon. How do you call it? Epsilon?
Oh,
this is
accent.
This is a milk protein that is used in, I guess, 99% of all this quite cheap protein powders.
Okay.
Whey, I think.
Whey. Okay.
Whey. We say we. Yeah, sorry. You say whey.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand. I wasn't following you, and I said, "Oh, maybe he's got something new I don't know about." And so anyway,
and this product ended up when you produce with milk different stuff, and then normally the dairy company threw it away years ago. And I know it ended always up in the rivers in Austria. It was sometimes a scandal. They didn't know what to do it. And then a very clever businessman in the US found out, oh, we can sell it to sports people. It's a protein. Yeah, it is. But it produces inflammation. High, really high. Not good. Not good to use it on a daily basis.
Gentlemen, I'm really enjoying this conversation, and I feel like we could take it further, or we could go to talking about what you have in the presentation. Roland, which way would you like to go?
Well, we can go with the presentation shortly. I'll give a short overview.
Let's do it. Okay. Tell us what you're going to be talking to us about.
Well, I want to talk about the best besides fruits and vegetables. And to make it very, very clear, the best is whatever kind of nutrition or diet you're following. I was a vegetarian for more than 5 years. I tried it out. I was a vegan for 9 months. I did keto, carnivore, frugivore, very strong frugivore. So I tried many diets because I only want to talk about something that I made my own experience and not just for reading it. So I tried different diets forms, and I found out There is no one diet for everyone. Everybody has to find out what fits for her or for him, meaning what kind of stress you have, how many calories you need, you're more active, you're more sitting, do you have any challenges with your health, whatever it is. So everybody has a different approach, and everybody has to try out what is best for me, what is really good. Doesn't mean what tastes best for me. It means what really does well for me. I give you an example. Sometimes I really have a craving for some sweets, so I eat chocolate or an ice cream or carbs, because I personally try to avoid carbs because my body doesn't like it much. Sometimes I do it because of a craving. It feels good in the moment. I enjoy it, but afterwards it's a nightmare for me. It's for me and my body. I feel sick, fatigued. I wouldn't say depressed, but I'm not in the same mood. I have more the blues, but so everybody has to find out, first of all, okay, getting a proper nutrition doesn't mean it's one nutrition for everyone. Everybody has different needs to serve. But what I found out is that there are some, whatever nutrition plan or diet plan or whatever dogma, sometimes it's a religion or a dogma already when you look at the vegan movement, whatever you're following, it makes sense to keep in mind some stuff, and it's all about helping your body detoxing your liver. That's very, very important. So I came up with fruits and vegetables. And to be honest, I didn't eat much in the beginning. So what I did is about almost 30 years ago, I started juicing. We bought a juicer. We did a lot of juicing in the families, but we stopped it for two reasons. Because first of all, it was very expensive to get really good quality organic food to juice it. Secondly, I found out we only choose what we did like, my wife and the family, not what we should choose. What we should choose from the variety, always the same stuff. And last but not least, we always had to clean this machine. And then the machine ended, from the center of the kitchen to the side, and then in the basement. That was the choosing experience, and this happens to many, many people. And I found out, okay, what should we eat? And I found a supplement that really works out. But let's start with the presentation and go into it. Maybe I can click on it, or you can bring it up.
Okay.
Okay. So the never best thing, and I want to give an example why fruits and vegetables are so important for our nutrition, and what makes an apple. Maybe somebody knows this quote: "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." My grandma used to say this to me when I was a small boy. It's a superfood like many, many others. It's just an example. And the reason for that, it's not just about vitamins and minerals. Yeah, they're important, yes, but most people don't, I always say, don't have a vitamin C deficient. They don't losing their teeth or whatever. But we have to keep in mind, do we want to be healthy, or meaning we don't have a deficiency, or we're really fit 100%? Yeah. When you say, okay, this is 100%, this is 0, and this is weak and sick, do we just be on 0? Or are we going to be close to 100%? Okay, this means not sick, but I don't want to be just not sick. I just want to be fit. Yeah, I want to enjoy life, and I can only enjoy life if it's my job or my family or my hobbies when I'm really, really in a good shape. And I become 60 next year, and I feel just perfect. I don't have any issues, even nothing in my teeth. Nothing. I have perfect teeth. Everything is really fine with me because I really take care of my body. So let's go with the apple. As I said, vitamins, minerals are important, yes, but it's not the only one that is very important. It's more about the so-called phytochemicals. And you can read it because it's too small. I did a lot of research on phytochemicals. I was studying under a professor who wrote many, many books about phytochemicals in Gießen, University of Gießen in Germany, because I was very, very into phytochemicals. And phytochemicals, just to make it very simple, not too sophisticated, it's the colorings, the colors, the smellings, and different other stuff of the plants. So I give you an example. When you have a strawberry, it smells, it has a color, and it tastes. Yeah, and other stuff, and all these phytochemicals. That's important to state. There are hundreds and thousands. I remember when I started my studies on that almost 30 years ago. Scientists talked about maybe there are 20 to 30,000. Now, 25 years later, they say maybe it's 60 to 100,000 phytochemicals. We don't know them all, but we know that when they play together like a symphonic orchestra, then it's quite good. Then you don't need a high dose. I will come back to high dose and low dose later. But the phytochemicals in all these different kinds of fruits and vegetables, are only in the fruit or in the vegetable when it's harvested on the highest point, when it's really mature, when it's full sun. And the problem is nowadays when you buy fruits and vegetables at a supermarket, even when it's organic, it is not full again. Why? First of all, the soil is not the same like it was 100 years ago. It was exploded. One thing. But even, and it's a lot of herbicides and pesticides in. But even when you buy organic, the organic farmer too has to harvest it earlier, because otherwise you cannot transport it to the market and sell it, because it doesn't look good. So we don't have the same phytochemicals, amount of phytochemicals than we had years before. And I come back to this strawberry. When I remember the strawberries in the garden of my grandma, the garden was smelling, really, you smell the strawberry. It was juicy. It has a good taste and a good color. And when I buy strawberries in the supermarket, even the Spanish one, yeah, they look like a strawberry, but they don't smell and don't taste like a strawberry many years ago. And these are the phytochemicals. And they're very, very important. And there are thousands and thousands of phytochemicals. And you cannot copy nature in a vitamin product. It's not making sense. So coming to a vitamin product, we have to distinguish if we take a high dose on vitamins because we have an issue in your body. So it makes sense on a short time to go a high dose, whatever you need. But when you take it on a daily basis, like I do, I take the supplement since 1994, since 29 years. So when I take it on a daily basis, we talk about prevention, not curing. I talk about prevention, not curing. When you take it as a prevention, it's not good to take isolated vitamins in a high dose. And there are many studies outside. There came a study outside years ago. I guess it was 40,000 participants, smokers. And they found out that smokers, or people who had lung cancer, that they have a deficiency of vitamin E and A, which the body produces from the carotenes, from the beta carotenes. So they thought, we give people who have an issue high dose on vitamin E and A, and look what's going on. What's going on was and the study was a really huge study going over many years, and they stopped it. The reason for that was it went in the wrong direction. Those people who got these isolated vitamins get more issues and passed away earlier. So they had to stop it. The ethic committee said, we have to stop this study. People are dying. So it's not good on the long term to take high dose on vitamins on a description. If the doctor says you need it because there's a lack, go for a short time to fill your reservoir up, yes, but on the long time, and don't go, many people go for themselves without the doctor's advice, go to a shop and buy some stuff and put it in the body, and they have no idea what they're really harmful, especially when you go with artificial bodies stuff. It's not good for the body. We know this, it's not good. So I'm not talking about curing, I'm talking about prevention on a daily basis, okay? And I brought this example yesterday. Maybe we go to the next slide and understand it better. So that was Red said. It's having a variety. It's not just having a banana day or an apple day or a grape day or it's having many, many different kinds of fruits and vegetables. So we get this huge range of these chemicals, of these different colors, this different taste, different smelling. And like the sulfites who help us decrease inflammation that is in onions and garlic. So all this, we need a huge variety. And so go as colorful as possible. So we know this. And the World Cancer Organization says we have to eat 7 to 10. The French one even said 12 right now. But 7 to 10 servings of fresh and raw fruits and vegetables every day. That's what they suggest to prevent cancer. The reason why it is so high is a lot is what I said earlier. Fruits and vegetables nowadays, if you don't have them in your own garden, you harvest them on your harvest point, what we normally do, you only pick an apple. I remember my grandmom, she always would rage us when my brother and I picked up an apple or cherries that are not mature. I said, no, why you pick them up? No, wait. So on the highest point. So fruits and vegetables don't have the ingredients anymore, so we have to eat that huge amount to stay on the cell level. They say fresh and raw, so a huge variety. But most people don't do it. And when we look on science, so actually 110 years ago, the first vitamin was discovered, and almost 30 years later, all vitamins have discovered. They have 13 vitamins in it. But the studies, the research on phytochemicals is quite young. It's just a little bit more than 30 years old. And we're just in the beginning. We found out there's a very, very important, but we're just in the beginning. And we know that there are many, many, many more that we already know. The interesting thing is on phytochemicals, I remember years ago when lycopene was researchers found lycopene. It's the red color, for example, in tomatoes, who is very, very good and very good anti-cancer phytochemical. And what did the industry? They brought a vitamin product, put lycopene in, and sold it as the new miracle. And it didn't work at all, because you need all the other ingredients too. By the way, when you want to have lycopene, you have to cook the tomato, not eating raw. We know from research that it's called the bioavailability. Bioavailability means you eat something and the ingredients, or let's say the micros, that's actually in German. You can measure them in your blood and your cells. Okay, it's all about bioavailability. When a product is not bioavailability, you can eat it for fun, but you flush it down on the toilet. It has to end up there where it has to be in your cells, in your power plant. So they always bring out new stuff. But when scientists found it, and it's not working, you need all this, like in a symphonic orchestra. As I said yesterday, I love classical music. And I've been living in Vienna. When I went to symphonic orchestra, you have 100 musicians, but different ones, different instruments, and they play together. It doesn't make sense that if you have 100 flutes and 100 trumpets. It's fucking loud, sorry for that, but it's not a harmony music. You need the harmony, the symphony of all together, of all the minerals, of all the phytochemicals, of all the enzymes, of all the vitamins playing together. That's the best way how it works in the body. And then you don't need a high dose. Again, we talk about prevention, taking something on a long time, eating fruits and vegetables a long time. And to be realistic, when you go to a market, you don't tell the farmer or the seller, please give me 105 grams of pineapple, 77 grams of broccoli, and 95% of banana, because I need this intake on vitamins or phytochemicals. No, you just eat the whole fruit like we always did. Why people make it so complicated? It's about the whole nature. And my grandma always said, look at the nature and eat the whole fruit. But as I said, most people don't do it for many, many, many reasons. We know that healthy food is very, 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 very important for our body, but most people don't do it. Studies show that almost 88% of adults don't eat enough vegetables. Around 60% is fruit. So people are eating more fruits and vegetables, and with children, it's even worse. And especially children have a higher need, a higher demand, because children are not small adults. No. They need much more. They're growing, their brain is developing and stuff like that. So we don't eat enough fruits, well, raw and fresh. Yeah, raw and fresh. That's what the intake should be, that we get all the things. Because when we cook it, we destroy the enzymes. We destroy enzymes about a little bit more than, I don't know in Fahrenheit, but in Celsius, it's 40, 42 degrees. That's why high fever is so dangerous for us humans. Because when you have high fever, all your enzymes are killed in your body and then you check out. Yeah? That's why high fever is very, very dangerous. So if you cook food, sometimes you destroy some. Sometimes it's better. For example, beta-carotene, this yellow color, for example, in carrots and other fruits, or lycopene is better when you cook it. You can better absorb it. The bioavailability is better, but mostly it's better to eat it raw to get the enzymes. So it's good to have a nice mixture. That's what they're doing in China or in Japan. They mixture different tastes, spicy with sweet, raw with cooked. So it's good. It's a good having a good mixture of all. And as I said before, the best is fresh fruits and vegetables. And I told you yesterday, I trained hundreds and thousands of doctors, because most doctors are not educated in nutrition. I don't know how it's in the US, but here in Europe, when you go to university to become a medical doctor, you study here 5 to 6 years, depending on what you're doing, and they're only a few hours on nutrition. So it's not part of the system. So don't blame your doctor that he doesn't know much about it. It's not part of the training. But some doctors are really into nutrition and do extra training. And I trained many, many doctors in the German-speaking market about nutrition. And they said, hey, we all didn't know it. Nobody trained us. And I always was training a nutrition specialist, advising people changing nutrition. And the nutritionist told me mostly women came to them, not men. Women are, in the past have been more open. Men have been open when they do workout. They want to, what can I do to be much better? But mostly came women do their surgery, and they give advice and say the women do it, they try it, and then they come back and they didn't succeed because the kids or the husband said, no, I don't like it. My son always said, Daddy, my smallest, my little boy, Gabriel always said, Daddy, why are the vitamins not in my vanilla ice cream? No, it's just in fruits and vegetables. I'm sorry. So, and then, then people have a good attention. I change everything and it's not working because the family said, no, I don't like it. I don't want it. So we have to be realistic. Fruits and vegetables is very, very good when we eat it in a variety. Yes, raw, but we have to be realistic. Most people don't do it, as the study shows, because good quality is expensive. Secondly, most people don't like the taste. And the most important thing in our society, everybody's busy working. We don't have the time to really look for good quality, buy everyday fresh, buy local, prepared every day. Most people don't have time. Yeah, they're working too much. Kids are at school, university. It's not that we had this like with my grandma together many years ago, that somebody was here and preparing fresh. That's we have to be realistic. So. And that's why I decided to start supplementing my body 29 years ago, because I said, like, even I know a lot of nutrition. I take care about my body, but I know that I can't do it every day. And I know that I don't always get the full stuff. Because when I look at fruits and vegetables, where I'm born in Austria, we have a strong winter. We don't harvest any stuff in winter. We don't have fresh fruits and vegetables in winter. We store something, like sauerkraut and like stuff. Yes, we do that. We ferment it. We do this. But it's not, we don't have it. So I started with supplementing it. It took me a long time. I always said no, because I didn't like artificial stuff. I know this from studies. And then I found there are many products on the market, but this is one that I take since 29 years and good results. It's 10 different fruits. It's the red box, 10 different fruits, 10 different veggies, and 10 different berries who are very rich in phytochemicals. And they are grown all over the world. It's non-GMO. It's herbicide, pesticide free. They grow it in different countries. They're harvested in the highest point, so you can't sell them on the market. They don't look good. Yeah, they don't look good. They're harvested in the highest point. They juice it. They make a juice out of it, and then with a special treatment on low temperature, not high temperature, not destroying the enzyme, no low temperature, to get out all of the water. And as I said yesterday, Dr. Jacalyn, when you get out all of my water of my body, I look terrible like a mummy, but I will last forever. Yeah. So when you get out of the water, then there's no damage anymore. So, and then you can store it. This is a powder, and this powder with all these ingredients, you just choose. And when you put out the water, depending on what kind of fruit or vegetable you're choosing, it's 96 to 85% bananas less of it's just water. So when you get out the water, a little bit is left over. And this is in a capsule, in a vegan capsule. You swallow this capsule with a lot of water. Very, very important. You have to give the water back with a lot of water. Capsule opens. Sorry. Powder mixes with the water, and you absorb a fresh juice of 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries. And that's just amazing every single day. And that's why I love it. No artificials. It's just fruits and vegetables without water, and very, very important, without sugar. Especially, we have a lot of people who are suffering from diabetes, and people with diabetes have challenges with fruits, of the sugar. So it's also sugar-free. So all the sugar is out, and all the water is out. That's just fruits and vegetables. But again, the best way is eating everybody's fruits and vegetables. And I always say, if you're taking Just Plus, I do every single day. It doesn't mean that I stop eating fruits and vegetables because I swallow a supplement. No, please eat as much as possible. You cannot overdose it. Eat as much as possible on fruits and vegetables. But you have a daily base. You're on the safe side to detox your body, to fight your free radicals in your body. And whatever you love on fruits and vegetables, on salads, on juices, whatever. I'm not a huge fan of juice. I told you yesterday, because it's a sugar bomb mostly when you have too much fruit in it. But do whatever you want. But you have a good base on it. And as I said, it's actually natural. It's gluten free, of course. It's sugar free. It's not colorings, no artificial stuff in it. It's non-GMO. And what is important for me is it was the first product I found on the market who has more than 30 studies worldwide. And most of those are gold standard study, meaning double-blind, placebo-controlled with a crossover effect. And on skin, on teeth, on heart, on smokers, on sports people, many studies. And this is not just photographs of different journals I found on the internet. No, these are exactly the journals where all the studies are published. It's really high studies, papers with a high reputation, where all the studies are done. Because this product is the only one I found out, because I've, with my sports career, I always was looking into nutrition, and all these companies advertising, yeah, we have studies on vitamin C, on this and this and this, which is good. And it's also my product therefore the product is good. And I learned that's not the same one. The question is, did they do a study with the product itself? And is there bioavailability? Does the nutrition really reach your cells, your blood system, through your blood system, your cells? That's the only point. The rest is spending money but not working, because you're flushing it in the toilet. And that's why I said, okay, the more than 30 studies, it's on different topics, and everybody can read them. There's the production areas worldwide. As I said, there's non-GMO. That's all about it. And for me, one of the best things is the company supports kids, because we found out that kids are our future. We have a study on more than 1.5 million kids who get the product free. So parents who take the product, the kids, I'm not quite sure, I have to check out, between 4 and 5 and 21 years, or they get it free. They get it free to support them. Yeah, that's just us. As I said, again, the best is fruits and vegetables, no doubt, but we have to be a little realistic. This product is this supplement is for somebody who looks for a solution, not for an advice, not for finger pointing. You should do this and this. We all know what we should do. We all know, but we don't do it for certain reasons. And this is a good start to feel safe and protected. As I said, to detox your body. That's about it.
Great presentation. Thank you. And the product is Juice Plus?
It's called Juice Plus, yeah. Actually, it's an American product. They have a production line in the US and one in Switzerland.
Yeah, I shared with you after yesterday, I was really interested in it, and I did some research, and it turns out I know people who are doing it here in the States. So if people are interested, they should contact you directly, Roland?
Yeah, you can contact you or myself if people want, and then we find out what you need, and if you have kids or grandkids, how they can get it free and stuff like that. Yes, for sure.
Perfect. Thank you. Red, you're on mute.
Thank you for that. One follow-up on what Roland was saying, it's so critical is bioavailability. Just because you take something doesn't mean you get all of it. There's two particular supplements that a lot of people take. One is turmeric, which is a very good antioxidant, probably number 2 in my opinion in the world as far as reducing inflammation at the cellular level. However, its bioavailability in the body when you're just eating it raw or taking it in a supplement is extremely low, 2-3% maybe. However, if you buy the supplement with black powder extract called piperine, or when I use raw turmeric, I make sure I add a lot of black pepper to it. It makes the bioavailability about 2,000% more than what it was. Same thing with resveratrol. Typically, you see in grapes and wine and whatever. The resveratrol again has a very low bioavailability, but with piperine, black pepper extract, it just goes exponential as far as what actually gets into the body at the cellular level. So just because you're taking something doesn't necessarily mean it's getting there. You're taking a calcium carbonate in a pill, you might as well be throwing it in the toilet for all practical purposes. It's not very digestible. It doesn't get into the body easily absorbable. So there's just a lot of things out there that the manufacturers want to make a profit. So they're going to use ingredients that are not necessarily, yes, it's calcium, but it's not the calcium that you really need or can use. So anyway, those are kinds of things that we need to look at when we're buying supplements. How bioavailable is it? And I think Roland hit that one on the head.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks, Fred. Yeah, great presentation, Roland. And I know we could even dig deeper into this topic, and we probably should. So hopefully you'll come back and see us. I'm not sure what your travel schedule is. Tell people where in the world you are right now, Roland.
Yeah, actually, actually right now I'm in Portugal. Still in Portugal. I fall in love with Portugal since 7 weeks now. After I left Spain after 3 months, so I'm traveling now with motor in Portugal. I'm here on the border river to Spain, in a beautiful small village. Actually, I came here Monday. I was supposed to spend one night, and I decided to spend 3 nights. It's nice here, but the network is very good. And I had 2 shows yesterday. You invited me today to come here. So I said, okay, the internet is good, the network is good, so I stay here. But after the show, I just pack everything, my studio, and then I continue my travel north in a nice national park. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. But what I wanted to add is on nutrition is if we can do a topic about omegas, because DHA omega is so important. Also, I just was reading a book for the second time by David Perlmutter. He's from Naples, Florida. He is the owner of, or the manager of the owner of the Perlmutter Health Center and the Perlmutter's Hyperbaric Center, and he's a neurologist. And he wrote a book together with one of my teachers, with Dr. Alberto Villadolid. He is a classical medical anthropologist. And they wrote a book. I wrote it in German, but they wrote it in English. It's called Power Up Your Brain, the Neuroscience of Enlightenment. And I would like to talk about omegas and DHA because it's so important for brain, because more and more people are suffering from Parkinson, dementia, stuff like that. Maybe we should bring this on one of your shows if you want.
Absolutely. We would love that. When we read?
It's a very important topic. It really and truly is. I agree.
For sure.
Okay.
Well, Roland, we wish you safe travels, and I do want to follow up with you about this subject. So just reach out when you're available. And if you could let people know how to reach out to you and what are the services and value that you can provide to them.
Oh, it's a lot of stuff. Some people won't believe it because I'm in internet nutrition and I did studies in nutrition for 30 years. I'm men's work. I'm very engaged in the environment together with my girlfriend on Respect Mother Earth. By the way, we're together again. I'm running a business in Switzerland, in coaching, consulting, international business. I do a lot of stuff, and people say, "Wow, how you can do this?" Well, to be honest, I don't earn on normal TV set. I don't waste my time in watching any reality shows or I don't know what stuff. I never do gambling or computer. I don't know how to say it. Xbox. So I have a lot of time to educate myself, and that's what I dedicate my life. Educate myself first to become a better version of myself first, and then I can bring what I learned from what I'm learning, from the knowledge, combined with my own experience, because I try the things out, I read and study, and give it to other people. And that's what I do on different areas. So if you want to know more about it, I will say go to my main website. We have 7 websites. So go on my main website. It's my name, RolandFriedl.com. If you're on a podcast or radio station, I spell it for you. It's ROLANDFRIEDL.com, RolandFriedl.com. Then you can find other sub websites and contact forms. Yeah, whenever you want to talk to me, you're more than welcome wherever topic you want to discuss me. Yeah, thanks a lot for listening, and thank you, Dr. Jacalyn, and thank you, Red, for inviting me. It was a pleasure to be part of the shows, and I hope I could give some insights on phytochemicals and supplements. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. And Roland, we will be able to see you next week on the Mallorca Connection, as well as Wild at Heart and the Earth Show. We'll be coming back next week.
Next week, yes, we have the Wild at Heart show and the Connection, but the Earth show we switched a week later. As you said, you don't have time, and we didn't find any other timings, Marcin and myself, so we do it a week later.
Perfect. That's right. I forgot I'm teaching a course. Thank you for that. Okay. Thank you, Roland. Safe travels.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye. Okay. And Red, where can people see you? How can they contact you? And how can you help them?
Well, I'm a speaker, health and wellness, primarily longevity, anti-aging, those kinds of things. My other expertise is in publishing and writing books. If you have an interest in creating your own book, writing it, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. I've been very blessed to have Dr. Jacalyn as a client. We've gotten 4 books out here in the last year and a half, all of them #1 in one way, shape, or form. But those are the things that I do primarily. I speak and I write and I help people get their books written. I can be reached at red.olaughlin.com. and that's red like the color, REDOLAUGHLIN.com. So it's red.olaughlin.com, REDOLAUGHLIN. My contact information's on that website. Dr. Jacalyn, as always, thank you so very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Red, and thanks for getting up early to be here today. I thought this was a very interesting topic.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye for
I'll
now.
see you again here in just a couple hours or so, won't I?
We'll be back with the wise ones, and then you'll be back with Talking Heads.
Yeah, today's a busy day with Dr. Jacalyn and red o'laughlin.
Good thing you don't have to be with me all the time on the air, right? 28 shows. So,
well,
but
when your book gets near the end, we're going to be on all the time.
yes, that's very true. We are working on book 3, and actually, book 4 is pretty much finished in terms of the writing of it. And just for people who don't know what it is we're talking about, we have a book series called The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor. Let's see if I can find a graphic for it. And so far we have, this is an old slide, but we have 2 books that are available right now on Amazon. So the one on the right is not a pre-order, it's available now. And both of these became Amazon #1 bestsellers. And Amazon #1 new releases. We did not get bestsellers, but we're working on it. And the animal characters on the book covers actually represent real people who have taken the course, The Power of Listening, and they've become certified as elevated listeners. And Red not only is the editor and the book coach, but he also is the character in the first book. Red, which character are you on the cover there?
The red ibis.
The red ibis. Fantastic. Thank you. And our third book in the series, Lady Ella Has Afternoon Tea in London, is going to be released on March the 26th. And the fourth book with the title is The Ocean Calls, Lady Ella Listens. So that's going to feature ocean animals, and the ocean is crying to Mother Earth because she is being polluted, and her animals, her creatures, they are dying and washing up on beaches. So there's a lesson in the book, and it's also how to teach children and their families how to listen. So you can go and pre-order that on Amazon as well. So thank you again. Red and I will be back later this afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you then. You can subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV and Radio, and watch all of our shows there. Thanks again. Bye, everyone.
Bye now.